Raider Nation, what is good? Hope everybody's doing good and everyone's in good health. Um, Here we are, July 8th. Way, way too early breakdown, but why not? We know who week one opponent is, the Denver Broncos. Our rivals, uh, they've been around since 1960, blah, blah, blah. And, it's been a rivalry ever since. But last year, we were 2-0 against the Broncos. I kind of wanted to, because one of the questions I had was, why were we so bad last year, but we were successful against the Broncos twice? And now both games were definitely different. Game one, which we'll dive into today. Week one, JJ kind of had his way. We seen a team that wasn't really at their best. They had Russell Wilson come in, learning the offense, learning the system, getting to learn his guys, and he had some struggles. I think arguably his worst season, and there was a lot of things that kind of had to do with them doing bad too. The offensive line was missing a couple of their key players too. So they were plugging and playing with a couple guys. So I don't think we seen the best of them. But like I said, we came out on top. But there's kind of reasons for that. We didn't get their best. We were kind of going through the same thing because we had Josh McDaniels. We had the new system as well. And, I just really want to kind of take a dive into the Broncos and just kind of things that they did. Believe me, it pains me to talk about them, but, it's homework. So, we were, 6-11. They were 5-12. So even though we beat them twice, we were still one game better than them. That's it. These are some facts for educational purposes, just to kind of take us back. So they had 22 total players on IR and 12 starters were on IR. They went through 8 running backs all season. Russell Wilson was under attack a lot last year too. There was 181 QB pressures and 63 sacks. So, he was definitely running for his life back there. Hopefully this year he'll be doing the same. Some of the things that they didn't have a lot of speed guys. I think Hamlin, is like, I want to say he was kind of their speed wide receiver, but none of their guys are really too fast. You know what I mean? They drafted Marvin Mims this year, so that should give them like a little bit of speed there too at that position. So like I looked at kind of some things that they did this offseason to kind of make their team better. So I was really going to kind of focus more on the offensive side, just because I think that's where they can really, their defense is, pretty solid too. But I believe that, their offense will be better than it was last year. So Mike McGlinchey, they got from San Francisco, tackle. He had an 81.3% run block win rate, which was fifth among all tackles. He comes from the 49ers. Hopefully, you know, I think I don't know. Well, we'll talk more about that after the fact. But let me kind of get more into who we added, or excuse me, who all they added. Ooh. All right, so Ben Powers from Baltimore. He was a guard. Um, he's one of the best alleged run blocking guards in the league. He has a 78.8 win percentage in the rushing game. Um, so I think that's like I said earlier. They suffered a lot of hits on their line. So by them adding those two pieces alone, I mean you got you know arguably. Oh, and they were. Let me see. For Ben Powers, Baltimore was second in rushing last year. With him, with him part of that line, they were very successful. And that's what Denver likes to do. Denver likes to run the ball and open up pretty much, basically open up the passing game pretty much for Russell Wilson. He has a pretty good deep ball. Like he's very good in the play action. Like he likes to because that's why Denver wants to threaten with that run. That's why, usually they have that three-headed monster or, like that running back by committee. And, Russell Wilson is pretty accurate when it comes to, the play action game. So, I know he struggled last year, but that's one of the things he does do good. When he creates his own space and he lets the play extend. Who else? Okay, like I said, Marvin Mims they got from Oklahoma. In college, he had last year he had 54 receptions for 1,083 with 6 touchdowns, and he's pretty quick. Like I said, he's a 4.38. So, they added a little bit of speed because, like I said, they didn't really have a lot of speed last year. They didn't really have anyone that could really take it over the top. Um, Let me see. They added Alex Forsyth, the center from Oregon. He could basically play everywhere, from what a lot of people say. He could play tackle, guard, center. So look for him to be a plug-in player because being so versatile, you know what I mean. They're going to try to use him somewhere along that line. Um, Chris Menard, I think, is a run blocking tight end they got. I believe he last played in Carolina. He's good against the edge. He's a good run blocking tight end, and Denver's all about the run game, so they might be dangerous in that run game. Because they got that big tight end. They got they beefed up the line with McGlinchey and Powers, so look for them to be a better offensive team than they were last year. Let me see. This was interesting too. They got Michael Burton, which was a fullback in New Orleans. So, of course, the coach coming from over there, so he's familiar with him. And he's also, like we were bringing in Patriot players to kind of teach the scheme. That's kind of what Michael Burton's going to do for them in Denver. All right. Another thing, let me see. Yeah, like I said, why that is important. Denver likes to run the ball. Russell Wilson is usually efficient on play action deep balls. So it's going to be very important for our defensive tackles to step up and plug these holes. Because if they can't establish the run, Chandler Jones and Max Crosby can get to Russell Wilson. Because, he didn't get rid of the ball last year as quick as he was, used to kind of in Seattle. He kind of had to create due to the line not being as good. And like I said, all the injuries. But like I said, with those additions, that's going to shore up those, hopefully it doesn't. But, like realistically, they're going to get better. Another thing I thought, let me see. Okay. So the wide receiver room, you got Marcus Callaway, Jordan Humphreys, Cortland Sutton, of course, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamlin. I believe Tim Patrick is back, but I'm not sure. So like I said, they didn't have a lot of speed, and Marvin Mims will add to that room. Uh, Another thing that was kind of interesting too was so when they had Melvin Gordon running the ball, they averaged 3.9 per carry, and after they switched to Latavius because Melvin Gordon, of course, was fumbling, um, they went up to 5.1 per carry. So, they the Broncos were kind of finding themselves too, like we were, trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work. And, Latavius Murray was a Raider, played for us. Was pretty successful in his first couple years. Like I think we ended up trading him to Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. But I liked him because he could always find the end zone. Like he was, he could always I just like the way he ran. He could always find the hole, and he was great in the red zone. So we were pretty stout against them though, but they did have their little breaks because even the play where Meek got the return, they were driving on that play, and I think it was 10-10 or something like that. So that was a crucial turnover in that game. Excuse me. They also added from Cincinnati Samaj Perine. He's the backup for Joe Mixon. He had against the Raiders, 54 total yards against us, just total in his time at Cincy, and just 54 yards. So really no threat. But I mean, he's a durable guy. He was a 1-2 punch in Cincinnati. He's like a little short, stout, kind of little mini bowling ball type running. Nothing too much. Kind of Josh Jacobs size, but not as shifty. Yeah. So that's a little bit about the Broncos, what they added. Because they were 1-5 in the division. 0-2 against us, of course. Uh, Meek's return in that first game, was a game changer. Like I said, they were driving. In fact, that run was a pretty good run that Melvin Gordon was breaking, and then he fumbled, and then he took it to the house, and turnovers were clutch. Turnovers were clutching in that series. A lot of things that we want to do all starts with us, matching up with what they want to do. And I feel like we got better too. Like we got better definitely in the definitely in the running game as well. Like I believe that let me see one second. Let me see. Salute. Dark, what's going on? Let me see. Yeah, I think definitely what a kind of our DTs is kind of like the basic focus of what we need to have step up, because if they want to run the ball, they want to run the ball down our throats. So we need to stop up that middle. We need our our young DTs to step up. I've been seeing a lot of people putting like these Madden simulations and like are just different lineup predictions and stuff like that. They got the big boy John Jenkins, and I would like that because I like big guys in that line, man. Like, Tillery's like the kind of tall, more narrow kind of type. We need that big, bulky, like that Warren Sapp type. You know what I mean? But guys that can really plug that middle where running is not an option. You know what I mean? You shut down one and you force them. That's how you get turnovers. You force them one way, and then you could jump routes. You know what I mean? But um, so I want to dive also into that first game. The first game we had so first downs, we had 25, they had 12. Passing first downs, we had 11, they had 7. Rushing first downs, we had 14, they had 5. So Josh Jacobs, I don't know what it is against Denver, he has success. He has a lot of success against Denver, and it's like he finds, and him being in the system for the years that he has been, just over time, he knows what they like to do. Because Denver's pretty much like, they don't really change a lot. They like to get those guys on the edge. They like to get after, but they haven't really had that. I want to say they traded. Was it a Shelby Harris? But one of their dominant DTs they don't really have. They're kind of in the same boat as us. Maybe that's why our schedules or our records are similar. But let me see. Gotcha. Let me see. Yes, definitely. I agree, Dark, for real. Because that's the thing. Like, when we're we could stop. Like just say we'll start with Denver. We could stop their receivers, man. Like we don't really have, like that dominant number one. But I mean, they don't even have a dominant number one receiver because you know what I mean. Out of all their receivers, who is legit their number one? Really, nobody. Um, so, I believe that if we could stop their running game, we could force them into mistakes because we have quicker. I feel like we have quicker people on defense than they do on offense. So, um, Jerry Judy dropped a lot of balls too for them. I want to say all year dropped, ooh, 50. I want to say almost 50% or something like that. It was some crazy number, but you know, um, a lot of the stuff that we want to do is run the ball. And if we could run the ball and keep possession, you know what I mean? And but to see the thing is it's so many questions because we don't know, we want our DTs to step up, but we won't know until we see. So, I think there's so many little things like the quarterback situation. It's kind of wait and see. The Josh Jacobs situation, wait and see. So everything is wait and see. But let me see. Let me see. Another thing. Like I was looking at like Josh's numbers, right? So Josh had 28 carries for 144 yards and two TDs. Um, Derek had 21. He was 21 for 34, 188 yards, no TDs. Adams had 9 receptions for 101 yards. Let me see. Russell Wilson that game had 17. He was 17 for 25, 237, two TDs. Let me see. He also had 4 carries for 29 yards, one TD. Uh, their top receiver was I think Ken Hamler. 1 reception for 55 yards. Yeah, it was pretty. So Derek had a rough game. The Broncos were our first win too. That was crazy. It was kind of like McDaniels was trying to figure everything out too. Like it, and really, but like I said, both teams were trying to figure everything out. But I think Josh finally, or maybe, I mean, honestly, maybe Derek just figured it out that game. Like I don't know what it is. Like he does tend to, it's been what 6 in a row that we beat them. So I don't know what it is. Like with them, it's always close games and it's always good games. Like um, but I would like to see. I don't know. He struggled. He had no passing touchdown, so maybe he didn't figure it out. But like I said, Josh Jacobs really carried us in this first game. DC had a better game the second game, but he had, I think it was. Let me see, what was it? So 188 yards, and I think there was a couple games too early in the season. I don't know if it was these two games or if it was. I know the Tennessee game, Devontae struggled, and there was another game. I don't know if I don't was it the Cardinal. I don't know if it was the no, because he scored in the Cardinal game, but there was another game where he struggled. It was close to that Tennessee game. I don't know if it was the game after the Bronco game, but um, uh, another concern just is like so when they were talking about that the Menard guy, the tight end they got from Carolina, like he's a big dude, and he's just another blocking piece too. So their running game is going to be pretty good with McGlinchey and Ben Powers from the Ravens. They're really going to be better. Their wide receivers aren't going to really be that they be that much better, but like I said, when Russell creates time, he can move around the pocket and he can, wait for that guy because we don't have guys in our linebacker room that could cover for that long. So that's the guys he usually looks to is like the backs in the flat or like the slot receivers just to, get them to break off the route. So it's going to be very, very, because we keep saying, I just keep hearing people say we're just going to blow them out and all this kind of stuff. But, we got to respect what they've done this offseason and, what was, really they didn't have their line. So, we got to really, do a lot of stuff that basically they couldn't stop. You know what I mean? So, and it's not, it's a whole new team really, because I mean you got a new coach for them with Peyton, so it's probably going to be a new system, and they're probably going to just work it around things that Russell has been successful doing in the past. Um, let me see. One thing I wanted to tap into that game. It was the article from that game. Let's see. All right. So it says defense. Jacob and the defense lead Raiders to first win 32-23 over Broncos. Just when it looked as if the Las Vegas Raiders might blow another fourth quarter lead, they put the ball in the hands of Josh Jacobs and the run-in game to finish off the Broncos. The emphatic game-sealing drive gave Josh McDaniels his first win as head coach since being fired by Denver in 2010, and backed up the message he gave his players all week. He said it to the offense and defense. You should want the burden to finish the game, not hoping that someone else does their thing or that they fix the problem. Quarterback Derek Carr said, whatever the game asks for, it's our turn to do our job. The Raiders did just that. Jacobs ran for a career high 144 and 2 touchdowns. Amik returned a fumble 68 yards for a score, and the Raiders beat the Broncos 32-23 on Sunday. Yeah, that was a nice return. That was one of my favorite plays of last year. And like I said, it was at a crucial point in the game. It was, I believe, 10-10. It was very close, either 10-13 or 10-10, and they were driving. So that was something that either they were going to go up by at least a field goal, but that just flipped and turned, you know what I mean? Just turned out to be positive for us. I'm excited, just to kind of, see, because I think our offense can match up pretty much with anyone. We're building. McDaniels is really, you could just tell just the way like he's drafted this team that like he believes in offense, passing. That's why the JJ situation is so, they're kind of putting him back burner because they're saying that like with this offense, we can have anybody run the ball, in his mind. That's what he feels. I hope he's right. Maybe he's right. But, I think having JJ would be a great piece to have, you know what I mean? But like I said, it's the team over anything, man. But, I would love to see JJ back, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, I can only cheer for who is suited up and who shows up. So, I would like to see more. So the thing about like with Jimmy not being, kind of with him kind of building himself back to the season, I want, the chemistry with him and DA to, be there. Like it's kind of hard to get that chemistry if you're not able to throw with your guys or kind of, go through the experience of, oh, okay, he likes this, or okay, I can hit him with, he likes the ball here or place, and just the tendencies, like what he sees here. Like, okay, when you run this route, what do you look for? What, it's like all those talking points, the things that him and DC had for years. You know what I mean? They practiced in the off season, stuff like that. You know, they were boys. So, Jimmy and Da are just working with each other this year. So, in normal situations, people would have an off season, where they throw to each other and, get to know the receiver. See, and they don't get to do that here. They don't get to do that with this situation. So, um, that's what kind of makes it a little, a little sketch, a little questionable. But the good thing is, at least O'Connell and the other guys are there to throw. You know what I mean? So if Jimmy's not getting that time in, at least the other guys are getting that time in. So positive. But are a lot of the things against the Broncos too last year, we got ate up in the out of the backfield. Like we don't have a good covering system in our defense in our pretty much in our linebacker room. We don't have any guys that can really cover. So it's kind of one of those things that we've spent money on, and it's been a waste of money because everyone that we've brought to do that job of covering these guys out of the backfield, covering tight ends, covering these X factors, and it's we have nobody that has really done the job that we've been able to keep. So I definitely want to see us improve in that. And honestly, I'm hoping maybe Diablo, with that safety slash linebacker, you know what I mean, or even Palomayo. I like his size, and I think his size can be, can assist him in stopping like the Kelseys and these receiving tight ends that kind of give us problems. The tight ends have always gave us problems. So we just have to see if we can stop the run. You know what I mean? I'd rather us be able to stop the run because it starts with that. Because if they're oh my goodness, if they're able to do that, then we can if we can stop the run, we can eliminate what they try to do in the passing game. Because we know we just have to be ready for all that bootleg play action, all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, Saturday mornings, man. Yeah, I just wanted to so basically I want to come here, man, like either Saturdays or Sunday mornings and just kind of give breakdowns on who we play, either, what they do successful, what they do, what their strengths, weaknesses, kind of how we match up, their players, our players, where I see we have advantage, where they may have advantage. Um, yeah, but that's the basic, So as we get closer to the season, we're gonna dig deep into these teams. So I just kind of wanted to give a little, starting off, a little dig into the Broncos. Very hated rivalry. I think out of all of them, we hate them all, but I think the Broncos, since we've been so dominant, like we tend to look past them. You know what I'm saying? But we have to respect who they are, what they're trying to do. And, they are in the way, so we have to see them as just that. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Dark. Yes, sir. Uh yes, sir. Yeah. So, um, yeah, I like doing the homework, man. Like, I don't like because I know everyone likes stats and everything like that, but stats sometimes tell a lie. You know what I mean? Because injuries and all that, like who we were on paper, and say the year before, after when we made the playoffs, everyone we were shoe in to make the playoffs the next year, and we went through these growing pains and just trying to figure out what was best for our team and what wasn't, and just kind of shaking the dead weight. And it was, it's been a ride, man. It's we expect to be great every year. You know what I mean? Like even no matter what, we feel like we have a chance. So, and that's why that last year we thought we were going to make the playoffs, but we didn't. We struggled. We were close, but no cigar. Um, One of the things that us having these close games and stuff like that, like why was McDaniels so good against the Broncos? Was it a personal thing? You know what I mean? Like, did he save all his wins for that? You know what I mean? For that game, for that team, because, his history with them. And I like, people say they don't like McDaniels and stuff like that, but I mean, his offensive scheme was working. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's just maybe because we had Devontae, you know what I mean? But a lot of stuff worked. It's like I kind of seen what he was trying to do. You know what I mean? Like, he really wanted to stretch the field. And like I said, we didn't really have a lot of speed to do that, but he utilized Devontae in pretty much the best way he could and trying to, get him open. And a lot of the TDs and stuff he had, man, this dude created really his own space. Like, a lot of the plays you see him scoring touchdowns, the defensive back fell down, was, what I mean, out of position, went for the fake, you know what I mean? So it was real easy to get him the ball when he's wide open, when the, DBs fall down and stuff like that. So, but that's why I really feel like Jacoby Myers is going to be way more useful, because we can even use him on end arounds rather than use Devontae. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to. Good morning, Raider Rich. How we doing? Yeah, I think Jacoby Myers will definitely be a better, option than Mac Hollins was. And I think our whole wide receiver room really got better. And a lot of people, you know, Renfro, yeah, but I would rather have Dorsett and what's the guy? My bad, guys, I'm blanking. Um, Dorsett, and then the other guy uh we got Trey Tucker. There's him, and then there's the I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, we got him too, and I think he would definitely be. I appreciate you, brother, too, for that. Thank you, Raider Rich. I appreciate that. Yeah, I would definitely like to see, man. But salute. Yeah, but yeah, Jacoby Myers will definitely be, I think, a better piece than Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins wasn't. He was more of a possession guy. You know what I mean? I see Jacoby Myers getting a lot of work. I see him maybe getting a little bit more work than DA. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care as long as we get the win. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who's, you know what I mean? But I feel like if they're gonna bracket Devontae, they're just gonna leave open space for like our backs for Jacoby. You know what I mean? He's gonna have those one-on-ones. So that's why I really feel confident about our offense. And I think that's why everything is working out the way it is. I think that's kind of why Devontae kind of doesn't like, the whisper. I'll just say the whispers and everything, that he doesn't like the scheme and the way the team is going. And I think he sees it like, I don't see myself kind of being that guy, because I think the offense that McDaniels is kind of running is pretty much suited to get, he knows who they're trying to stop. So basically, other people are able to eat through that. So, I think that's why him and JJ are like kind of not odd men out, but they're basically being used to open up the offense in both ways. So, and I hope, all we can do is hope that it works out. You know what I mean? That's all we can do until we see it. But I'm excited, man. We're close. Camp. I've been doing my workout. Today's off day for that too. So, I thought about even going today. You know what I mean? Because I still feel good. I don't really, feel too sore, too bad. So we'll keep it up. And like I said, we're gonna dig deep into, like, as we get closer and closer, we'll get, to start digging into, players and matchups and stuff like that, which is fun too, because it's our team against yours, and that's always fun for me. Yeah, man. So how do you guys feel, man? Like, everybody out there, like, how does everybody feel about, getting closer to the camps and everything? Getting close. Getting close. Close, close, close. Let's see one. Let me see. What was yeah, so they one thing is they got rid of they drafted Drew Sanders. Yeah, I really do think Russ and them will be a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? I really do think they will be better. Like I don't expect them to be a pushover, you know. Mr. Unlimited. Hopefully he's still limited. Um, but yeah, we're not gonna be no joke though. I think, yes, they are gonna be better, but I feel we are gonna be even better. So, but week one. I think a lot of development will happen along the way too. And we might add pieces here and there. We met, there's the Peters possibilities and stuff like that. So I hope, because I mean, it won't hurt. You know what I'm saying? If we got Peters, it definitely will not hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it will not hurt. Because I mean, it's a veteran. He's a when he's at his best, he's a ball hawk. Um, he's a dog. You know what I mean? He's gonna bring it. And so, anywhere we can get better, any pieces. We wasted money before, so I mean, you know, anything to try to make the team better. Like as long as you're trying to make the team better, I want to compete. I don't want to be a joke. This is for real. Because it starts with them. I think we play them, then we play the Bills, and then we play Pittsburgh. So like we have the so if we don't beat the Broncos, we play the Bills, which is a very way better team than the Broncos. So we don't want to start out 0-2. We do not want to go basically just like we did last year, start off 0-3. So we have to. It starts with game one. I want us to be able to run the ball. I want us because it's key to what we do is run the ball. Because I mean, I think last year I blame McDaniel's. For last year we didn't run the ball enough. Like I feel there was moments where we could have melted down more clock. We could have put the game away. In many situations we could have put the game away by running the ball. Just run the ball down their throats. Make them stop you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's just he was a little bit too creative for his own good, and I think he learned along the way. That's the thing about being a coach. You're gonna learn. You're not gonna get everything right, and plus you don't learn from getting everything right. You learn from mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So it's I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he's gonna get his stuff together. But there were some times where I was like, run the ball. What are you doing? Melt the clock. Let the D. And it's like let the D do their job. And it's like make the offense make their offense work for it. So, but here we are. Yeah, basically, and I'm like I'm all about like I said, it doesn't matter who it is as long as you make our team better. I was like when McDaniels first got hired, because when I'm not gonna lie, like when the guy from the Chiefs, the offensive coordinator, or what's his face, I forget his name right now, but what's his face, their offensive coordinator. I was hoping that we could get someone like that because I see what I saw was our struggles on offense. So I was like, man, we need a different game plan or something just to score some points. So I was thinking, the guy from the Chiefs, because he and plus it would be a right, he would be on our team. He could break down everything that they try to do in Kansas City. So I just figured it would be an advantage. And then when we got Josh McDaniels, it was kind of like, okay, so at least I wasn't really worried about the offense. You know what I mean? Like defense. Defense is still, the kind of questionable thing too, man. But yeah, thank you. Thank you, Raider Rich. Eric Bieniemy. Yeah, like I was kind of hoping we would go offensive. A lot of people wanted to go defense, but yeah, defense is cool, but if we're not scoring points on a major level, so like, we definitely need to improve our points. And plus the division we play in with the Chargers, with the Chiefs, these teams score points. You know what I mean? Like they throw that dang thing. But, so the Broncos are really more the run heavy, you know what I mean? But they could throw it too. But it's their philosophy is more run heavy. So, so we definitely need to put up at least 30, in that 20, at least 25 to 30 range. So because Eric Bieniemy too would have definitely been, I think, a plus, really, like, because I said it before I read that. Like I said, it would have been good to have an inside look at what the Chiefs try to do, and maybe we could get like a heads up on them. So that was really the reason behind it, because of what they do and just how creative they were on offense, how they used just the fullback. Like, one thing I do, when you think you have everything that they're doing covered, they'll break out with a fake block, like that delay little screen, you know what I mean? So like it's really frustrating when you think you got them all covered and then someone pops out and then gets the first down. So that's what I have to respect that they do. They are very creative on how to get the ball downfield. There were moments where we could burn. Yeah, definitely so. There was times I thought he was tanking too, because it was and we never. It was just questionable calls, like the Arizona game that we so that like I said, I was there, man. Like Carr almost threw a pick. Second play, threw it to Renfro. He fumbles. We get it back. Next play, gives it to Renfro again. He fumbles, and we watch that man run down the field. So hey, that was rough. That was rough. That was rough, rough, rough. That was one of the, because it was like, and I feel like if we had ran the ball 3 times, all we needed was like 5 yards or something like that. We could have, easily run the ball 3 times, let Carlson do his thing. We would have been out of there. And all these close wins could have changed our season. The Tennessee game, say we get the 2-point conversion right there at the end, and then say we find a way to, hey, JJ with another walk off, or we figure a way. You know what I mean? It's all these close games where we had a chance, and that's just what was so frustrating. Like sometimes people rather, I said too, I'd rather get blew out than to lose by one, you know? So that means there was opportunities missed. So, but yeah. Let's see. Very bad clock management, for real. Yes. And we'll talk about that too, Rich, for real. So, one of my struggles and my frustrations with DC, and I'm not going to say it's all his fault, but he's the only quarterback. So, I'm going to put like it starts and ends with you. You control what happens. Like, so, he's the guy. So, that's the guy I'm talking to. Okay, so DC, and I guess this will be in my opinion, was always good on scripted drives. You know what I mean? The first drive of the game, maybe the second drive, but when it came to the second half, it would seem like, and stop me if I'm wrong, but the first drive out of halftime for us was always a 3-and-out. Like, what? It's like after he takes halftime, he does whatever he does at halftime, he comes out cold. That, like I said, this is my opinion. He always comes out cold. He comes out off. Like, there's always like an overthrow, like on the first down play, overthrows. Oh dang! So now what do we do? Run the ball with Jacobs, 3 yards, whatever. It's like we become predictable. You know what I mean? It's like, and once we're in that third and long, it's almost inevitable that we are going to be kicking the ball. And I don't know what it was coming out of halftime, because I believe, like, a lot of people say, oh, McDaniels and all this kind of stuff, but like, what's the overthrow? Like, I remember Mac Hollins, I remember at least four. There was two in the Cardinal game. He just, it was he's open, but Carr overthrows him. Like, and we're like, what do and those are drive killers. It's, football is rhythm, it's momentum. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know what it is. If he needs like some more of that smelling sauce or whatever it is coming out of halftime, like, I don't know what it is, but they have to get it going, man, coming out. That's the thing that was frustrating, because we would be up, and it's like, a lot of people say the defense, but we have to keep the defense off the field. You know what I mean? Like, our thing is to extend drives, slow, burn that clock, run that clock, and just be, just smart plays, stay in bounds, run the ball, screen passes, stuff like that. Be creative, like, and that's why I like the Trey Tucker edition. The Dorsett, I still can't think of this dude's name. But he's one of the guys we brought into. Dang, I can't even think of the guy's name right now. But it's one of those guys where those jet option plays and stuff like that, those motions. That's what we need. Something to get those linebackers' eyes, you know what I mean, moving and questioning and guessing. That's the whole key. We don't want the defense to always know, oh yeah, they're gonna run the ball. Here we go. Just bam. Boom. It's like, we need people that can just, like, that's why I have a lot of faith in this offense, because we have little different pieces, little different weapons here and there. And I think we can definitely be successful, man. Carr would vanish after our opponents made the proper adjustments. Carr's inaccurate throws didn't help the situation. Yeah, like, so a lot of times you would see Carr like miss people, and he would be frustrated, like, kind of, I guess, at them or whatever. But I don't know, like, something about his rhythm was off, man. Like, because I mean, a lot of his TDs and stuff like that, like the one to Ruggs against the Jets, the whatchamacallit, the one, DA against the Broncos. Like, there was a couple where he was wide open. Like, a lot of the Aguilar ones years ago was wide open. Dude burnt, you know what I mean? So it's not like he's made some good passes. Not, I'm not gonna say he hasn't, but a lot of his touchdowns are kind of the receiver putting in the work to get that open. You know what I mean? So, a lot of those numbers, a lot of people get on numbers, but numbers can lie to you sometimes. Let me see, bam. Let me see. 33 yards passing in the second half. Musgrave would yell at DC to motivate him, and that's why DC wanted him out. Yeah, DC has got a lot of people fired and moved on to other places. Like, you wonder why, like, Crabtree didn't end up staying. Aguilar ended up moving on. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, yes, he's good for like one good year, and then people get paid. A lot of people say, oh, DC gets people paid, but that, why don't people stay? You know what I mean? Why don't they stay? If it's just about the money, people want to win. So if he's that great and all that kind of stuff, why don't they stay? If he's a winner, and Raider fans, we know why. So yeah, I don't know. It's all about, like I said, there's many times, and if you look, like I said, look at his interceptions and everything like that. Like, I watched this little mixtape of all his interceptions, and mostly everything was forced into triple coverage. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, there was the narrative that, Josh McDaniels is making him making him pass to a certain person and all this kind of stuff. I don't care who he tells me to pass it to. I'm passing to whoever's open. I'm not gonna go throwing to somebody if there's three people on him. That's why he had so many turnovers. That's why he had so many interceptions. Like, and it's like ball placement, a couple tip passes and all that kind of stuff, but ball placement, man, like, it's like, Tom Brady seemed like he put the ball on the same spot every time. Aaron Rodgers puts the ball in the same place every time. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. But with DC, you don't know where the ball's going to be at. It's going to be behind me, in front of me, side of me, underneath me, you know. But that's why accuracy. That's why I think they wanted someone that could just stand in there and deliver like Garoppolo. They got Aiden O'Connell, which is a stand and deliver guy. And I don't know. I don't know. Of course, I wish DC could have got it right, because of course I wanted to make the playoffs. I want to win a Super Bowl, but it's like he didn't. He couldn't get it, and he didn't get it fast enough. He's been in a lot of systems. You would think he would know them all by now, right? 9 years. Like, were we waiting for maybe year 12 for him to get it? So I don't know. I just see it from results, man. Like, I can't vouch for a person that has not that has no playoff wins whatsoever. I mean, I have zero playoff wins. So does that mean I could be quarterback for the Raiders? I have the same playoff wins. You know, he has one more playoff appearance than me, though. One, officially one. Yeah, that back. Yeah, ooh-wee. Yeah, the backpedal thing. That's why I see. That's why, remember the Joey Bosa comments and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, it sucks, man, when somebody talks about your quarterback like that. Like, oh yeah, he's the easiest one to sack. Like, oh, he just curls up like a ball. We don't curl up, man. Raiders aren't no curl up. So like, that's why it's time for a change. We were predictable. We were pretty much a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, I hate that. I'm not even gonna bring up the crying thing, because everyone has their moments or whatever. But we're Raiders, man. There's pride, and plus, when he cried, we still had a chance. It's not like the season was over. We still had a chance, man, to make the playoffs. And it's like, don't cry. Do something about it. Break your neck for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is what it is. And like, the thing about when you see him scrambling or you see him backpedaling, the play is over. You already know. Like, when I see him running around, I'm like, oh yeah, it's over. Punt. Because it's like, he's barely. I'm gonna be nice. He has his accuracy issues when he's standing in the pocket. So he definitely, and running, we know he's not going to break for runs that often. So when he starts to running, that's why I figured the play's over. And that's why I'm always surprised when he would break for he would actually run for a first down, because little things like that gives you at least three more plays to keep going. It's just a little to break your, sorry, not break your back, but, you know, make the effort to extend the play. That's why the Russells are dangerous. You know what I'm saying? That's why Mahomes is dangerous. That's why what's his face? Oh goodness. Trevor Lawrence is dangerous. You know what I mean? Because he has that to get it. That's why Burrows, even with a bad line, was dangerous, because he will go and he will risk his neck to get it done. They used to always have to tell him to not do so much. You know what I mean? Because, he hurt his knee. I think it was his first year or whatever. And so, like, they tell Burrows to kind of be easy, but that boy is a killer. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has it in him to get it done. He's not going to understand losing. And that's what, like, see, DC, I want them to have to tell DC, don't, or, that's what I wanted in the past, was for them, for DC to just go that extra yard, just run. Your line's crap, allegedly. Your line's crap. Anticipate it and go. You know how the line's coming at you. you know where the holes, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're a smart quarterback, even Tom Brady would know where to wiggle. And where he's not the fastest person in the world, but he knows he's a smart player and he knows how the defense is coming, so he knows tendencies. So that's why all the excuses that we gave, it's just like 9 years. This would have been 10. How long? How long until you are a winner? You know what I mean? We blame everybody. Whoa. One, oh, you got one job. Let's see. One playoff appearance. And in that game, Carr had the opportunity to win it and blew it. Threw a pick. We should have knew it then. And see, that's the thing. Like we scored all those field goals and stuff like that in Cincinnati. Like, had they had the bogus, that whistle, whatever, the whistle play, but bro scored. You know what I'm saying? Either way you look at it, whistle not. I don't play until, you know what I mean? Like you play every snap, like, until the very end. You know what I mean? So that's don't matter about because what if we should know we're Raiders? We get screwed 110% of the time. So like we should not expect the referees to ever help us out. So knowing that we got to do the most every game to win. You know what I'm saying? Other things that others don't have to do. Definitely not. Yeah, we can definitely not trade field goals for touchdowns. See, I feel like Carlson didn't even get a lot of chances because we couldn't get close enough, in field goal range last year, man. I really do. Like, I feel like we barely called his name. The millisecond he felt someone touching him, he would curl up and fumble. I know. He led a couple years ago in fumbles. He almost led this year in interceptions. So, anybody that doesn't see that he was starting to trend down, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. But, numbers are numbers. It's like, yeah, especially the Saint game. See, that's what's so confusing about the Saints move, right? Like, I mean, you can have them, thank you. You know what I mean? But it's just like, what did you see in that game that made you want to take that off our hands? Like I said, we thank you, but what I don't, we couldn't, we couldn't even get past the 50 until, like I think the last drive or whatever, and so this is what I heard happen. So I think we played the Texans, I believe it was, and we beat them, and they sucked, right? They were like, you were pretty much going for that number one pick. And so this is the story I heard that happened is that DC was so excited, or I guess I'll just say the team was so excited that they beat the Texans, and McDaniels was kind of like, you're supposed to beat this team. Like this is you guys shouldn't be celebrating. This is a team, your game. You're supposed to win. You know what I mean? Because they were so sorry. And then someone said that DC got butthurt about that, and he kind of took things a little personal, and then that's why his play was a little down. That what I mean? Like, but that's like I said, that's what I had heard at that time about that game. But that's kind of crazy. I don't know if anyone else heard that same thing, but yeah, that was kind of crazy. But you know. I think the emotional part of the game. So there's emotions in football. I'm not going to say that there's not. There's more emotions. I mean, it depends. Like, I mean, people are different. People's emotions are all different. Like for me, a Super Bowl win or a Super Bowl loss would be very emotional. You know what I mean? Like, not making the playoffs. I don't know if we're just numb to it, but it's just like that's why I think it makes our winning season so much sweeter and it just feels so much better. You know what I'm saying? Like when we win. But it's like, I don't know, the losing for me, like because most of the time it's self-inflicted most of the time. Or we leave stuff out there. It's not that these teams are honestly better than us. You know what I mean? Because look how close we were this year or this last year. So it's not like these teams are so much better than us. It's us. And it's little things that we have to fix. It's little, little things. And we're always team building. It's always a new, these ones. I hate 1 year deals because it's like you get this player, he's here for 1 year, and it's like he moves on. Then now you got to get another player. Now you got to gel again. Well, now what if the guy doesn't gel right? And it's like we need consistency in our roster. We expect all these plug and play players because it's cheap. You know what I mean? It's cheaper to pay 5 mil here and all this kind of stuff instead of paying, 15 million, all this kind of stuff. So I get it. It's a money game, but I don't expect different results if I'm doing the same thing. You know what I mean? So that's what being a Raider fan for so long, just seeing them let players go just because it's like, I'm not paying them that. Somebody else pays them that. They, most of the time they do successful. But most of the frustration is we have opportunities to get these guys cheap in the draft and we just pick the wrong people. Like we've had Ed Reed was the one that hurt for me, like, because I respect Ed Reed as a player, one of the best to ever do it, one of the smartest, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just cold hitters, boy. You know what I mean? But we could have had him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to say Adrian Peterson, all these kind of cats too, like we could have had. And even Justin Jefferson, like even as recent as a couple years ago, Justin Jefferson, you know what I mean? Wouldn't that have been a nice addition to have with DA? You know what I'm saying? Like that, it's just little stuff like that. Like, and it's like it's not that it's not the fans' fault for sure. It's not Raider Nation's fault. It's definitely them picking the right people. Sometimes they get hyped up on that character issues and stuff like that. Like with Justin Jefferson, he was kind of flashy with the gold and all that kind of stuff. So they were like image. They were probably looking at image and stuff like that. But his production, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then look at the guy we picked is fighting for his life right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's we have to make better decisions. So I like the regime. Ziegler kind of more than the McDaniels thing, but like I am giving McDaniels the benefit of the doubt that he is getting his team offensively where it needs to be, because I'd rather score points, man. It's good to stop people too, but we got to score points to win. So he's trying to relay that they are far better players and shouldn't celebrate easier triumphs. Wants to conquer our division. That's the mindset. This team is competent and go toe to toe. Definitely can. Like, and that's why I want us, man, to stand by this dude. Because, like, as Raiders, man, we're a family. You know what I'm saying? We are a family. And it don't matter, man, if you. So I'm gonna tell you one of the persons, dang, I can't think of his he was the Charger coach back when LT was Irv. What was this? Dang, I forget his dang name. He had all the craters in his face. But when LT was a Charger, he was the coach. I couldn't stand that dude. And so he coached the Raiders. I still couldn't stand that dude. Just because I just didn't like the dude. I don't know if it was just because he was a Charger or whatever, but I did not I forget his dang name. I know you guys probably know too. But yeah, the dude, I could not stand that dude. And he was a Raiders coach at one time, and like I could not stand him still. You know what I'm saying? But as Raiders, man, like if you're with our squad, we're behind you. You know what I'm saying? Because that sucks, man. Like as a coach, like he's only been here 1 year. Like ain't did nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, I'm looking at what he can bring and what he could do. And if he couldn't do nothing for us, then it'd be like just another bum hired. You know what I'm saying? Ray Love, salute, brother. How we doing this morning? Yeah, so like it's basically one of those things that, this is year one. He had to see what he had. You know what I mean? I don't blame him. I admire that he had the guts to get rid of DC. You know, nobody else had the nuts to get this dude out of here. You know, it was like everybody around DC got fired, traded, you know what I mean? And it's like the only thing that never changed was the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So that's why things have to definitely be different, man. Like his so with Mac Hollins, right? Mac Hollins was just pretty much a cheap option because of what our money situation last year. It was a cheap option basically that we could not, we couldn't spend big, so we just had to get somebody that knew the system for cheap. You know what I mean? So we got him. You know, productive wise, he got, I think it was it 600 some yards, almost 700. And we know Devontae had like I want to say 1500, something like that. And yeah, it was a big gap. And he was our second guy. So Myers coming in will be a definite bigger threat. I feel like he's got, so that's what I'm saying. Like I definitely agree with the comment earlier about, if he doesn't get it right this time, you know, it's over because you got your pieces. You got all these Patriots, we got all these, running backs, all these players that, fit your system, and we're gonna see. But I feel we are. I really do believe. You know what I mean? I would hate to be sitting here in January, with my foot in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I stand by what I say, man. Like, I really do see us being a lot better because, like, we're actually getting the pieces that want to be here, that know the system, that are familiar. Yeah, they're all Patriots and all that kind of stuff, but who cares? You know what I mean? Long as they're here to help our team. Because, I mean, if they win a Super Bowl with us, I'm pretty sure they don't get one. They don't get Patriot rings. They get Raider rings. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I'm excited, man. Rafa, salute. Thank you for showing, brother. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you guys too, man. I really do. Appreciate you guys coming through, talking some ball, man. Yeah, the closer we get to the season, man, it's a lot better for all of us. Like the mood, don't you see everybody's moods get better? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're being really patient with these, rival teams trying to troll and stuff like that. Because it don't mean nothing right now until the season starts, and then it gets serious. But we're excited. We're there to talk some smack too. So. I haven't heard too much from Broncos camp there. So I've been looking at their predictions. They are high as hell. They think they're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And it's not that they just think they're gonna win. They just see them blowing us out. I mean, crazy, crazy, crazy. So, uh but one thing, see that, and like I say, like it even with the question marks with Garoppolo. Because just worst case, Garoppolo's not ready for the beginning of the season. Okay, so I don't see them going with Aiden. I don't see them going with it. I see either Chase or what's his name? The old guy. I see them going with them just for experience, and they're not going to throw Aiden into the fire like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's like that. You know what I mean? Where he's going to be just ready week one. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I hope he is, but let's just be real. So, oh yeah, Brian Hoyer. Yeah, Carr was becoming a problem after that last game in Oakland. I'll never forgive him for that. Just like it just seemed like he had no drive whatsoever. Like I mean, that game meant so much to the people and the fans. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, that's before they moved to Vegas, of course. But it was like the last home game for us, bro. You were supposed to do it all. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no way we lose that game. He was complacent with winning the bare minimum. I'm just glad he's out of here. I hated his press conferences for real. Like I get tired of hearing, the oh well we were this close and a couple plays and things could have been a lot different and I'm just proud of the guys for hanging in there and Man, nobody wants to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so sick of it. It's just like every time was all the same. It was just all this stuff, and then it just made me want to yell at the screen. Like I wanted to yell at the pressers, you know. But anger management. But yeah, like it was frustrating because like it seemed like I would be pissed. I would curse out my team if that's what it took just to light a fire. And I'm gonna say, F it. You guys don't want to win? F it. Get the F out my way. I'll show you how winning, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just there's something that somebody's gotta be that person to be like, man, you know what I'm saying? Get in somebody's face and be like, look, bro, if you don't want to be here, then why do you suit up? You know what I'm saying? What do you know what I'm saying? There's passion. Cause I mean, no one likes going to lose. No one likes to go to these press conferences, answer these stupid questions about, well, what do you guys think happened today? Like we lost again. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's frustrating. So I mean, I don't care how smooth he was with questions. Oh, he was a great guy answering. Like when they lose, he's such a stand up guy. You got to. Sometimes it's his fault. So it was just I'm tired of it. Like if we're gonna hear, if at least let me hear somebody else lose, or you know what I mean? Like because it's just like, man, well, how many years do we have to listen to this dude with all these coulda, woulda, shouldas, and you know, it's like I believe it's you, brother. So you know, and I I don't know. It like I said, there's been so many coaches. So is it the coaches? Like is it all the coaches and DC's just the best quarterback ever and he's just not found the right guy to bring the best out of him? Like I mean, yeah, we could say, oh, Gruden was getting, but Gruden's gone. Gruden's gone. That whole situation's gone. And like, you know, that we coulda, woulda, shoulda, but he's gone. So I am excited I mean, it doesn't matter to us because we don't play him this year. So, we'll never know this year. We got bigger fish to fry. But the thing is, DC chose, he chose the division that he had a semi winning record in. And I want to say it was like he was one game over 500. And so that was the best, pretty much his best division that he had a winning percentage in playing in. So, you know, we have a tough division. So, he'll be fine in, the NFC South. See, we have the AFC West, which is one of the best, if not the best. We'll say the best. And you know what I mean? Like we have some competition. Like our weakest team, our weakest competitor on paper is the Broncos. And the Broncos, the Broncos beat the Super Bowl, or did they beat them last year? Yeah, they beat was it the Chargers or the Chiefs? Anyway, it's any given Sunday, man. But yeah, so like, any of our teams can get it done. Any of our teams. And like I guess the only team that he was always 50-50 with the Chargers. Something about him and the Broncos, he was not successful, but like I said, JJ had a lot of those yards in that first game. He had a better game in the second, but he had a lot of droughts too last year. Players must adapt to the coach's philosophies in order to be productive. Carr gave you the impression that he cared, but that's far from the truth. Carr never wanted to listen and improve his game. Never. Never. Like and by him saying like, because he would throw little shots in the media about, Josh wants it this way, and that's what I'm gonna try to do, and I'm gonna try to do what Josh wants me to do, and that's all I can do. And man, come on, man, get the ball to the open person, man. You've been in the league 9 years. You're a professional. Get the ball to the open guy. I don't give a damn what Josh says. What's he gonna do? Bench me for getting first downs and touchdowns? Do what you gotta do, player. I'm winning. I'm not going, like it's just like I don't know. And that's why not a good fit. He's not a Raider. He's more a Saint than a Raider. We'll say that. We agree? Let me see. I love you guys, man. We're talking some good talk. mediocrity. Yeah, just find this. That's Carr's legacy. Yeah, like I was gonna say, I am excited to for the end of the year. I want to hear the excuses. I want to hear the excuses for why Carr didn't make the playoffs for the Saints. Like, oh, is it the line? He's gonna blame the defense. They're gonna blame because they're supposed to have a top five, give or take. Well, I'll just say top eight, give or take, defense or whatever. So so what's the excuse going to be if they don't make the playoffs in New Orleans? So he's on pace. Would it take him year 8? Well, we'll give him that year he broke his back too. We'll give him that. I can't take that away from him. That was beautiful. Not that he broke his back, but we made the playoffs. But what happened after that was ugly. But yeah, but that was the best we've seen of Carr. Like that was the like remember the Seth Roberts and Crabtrees, the what's his name? Uh Mari Cooper, all those like those years were like his kind of best. A lot of people say that's when he had the best support around him, but you know, um, I Crabtree made him look so raw. Like I wish, people because Crabtree had some great catches, man. Some like toe taps, some like I remember that Chiefs game. He had to score like 6 times. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it was always I felt players making him look just when he needed it. Like it was just perfect timing where like they would make him look like he was raw. You know what I mean? Like he was definitely like better than he was. But I think like one thing I always say for DC is that Waller was his crutch. Waller was that go-to, like was when the wide receivers would get shut down. The easiest people to get to was the mismatch of Darren Waller. He could pretty much be that security blanket for him. And a lot of the yards after catch was Waller just being athletic, being quicker, and just I don't know. It just Renfro made a lot of great catches. Zay Jones the other year made that year we made the playoffs. Zay Jones was clutch. I mean, he was so underrated, man. Like just for us that year. I'm not saying he's the greatest and all that kind of stuff, but he came through in some clutch moments. I don't know if you guys don't remember that, but that dude came with some crucial. Even Brian, what's his name? Brian, I forget his dang last name, but Brian Edwards had some crucial broken tackles that got us some good yards that led to us making the playoffs and stuff. So DC gets a lot of that credit, but a lot of those were created by Renfro breaking loose, Brian Edwards breaking loose. A lot of plays. I mean, yes, DC got him the ball, but those players made moves and made first downs happen. So, got to give credit where it's due. But it's crazy. Like even when we didn't have a quarterback before we got Jimmy, I was still okay. I was still okay with just taking my chance with whoever, because I figured we'd figure it out. Either we were going to, it was after the Rodgers thing, the Tom Brady retirement, and all that kind of stuff. The Jimmy Garoppolo thing kind of surprised me. I didn't kind of see that coming. I didn't see him on our radar. I really didn't. But somehow, some way, that ended up happening. So, let's see. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, and thank you for bringing that up, Dark, too, because one of the things, like I said last week, I think was we didn't. There was never true competition for DC. Like Mariota, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was the closest to competition he ever had, and it was like Mariota was coming off the injury. He wasn't 100% healthy. So I believe they didn't want to put 100%, like they didn't want to hand the offense over to him. But I believe if he was healthy, he probably would have had the best chance to take DC's job. And I think the only, like I said, the only thing that really stopped that was the injury and him getting back, him building, Mariota's building himself back and stuff like that. So that was one of the things that DC never had, was someone to push him, because the job was always his. Every year, the job was always DC's. DC never had to worry about any kind of competition or anything like that. Like, it was always, he knew his job was secure. That's why DC never let injuries take him out. He couldn't afford to, because he knew that if he had the opportunity, if like they had the opportunity to get somebody else to take his spot, anybody could have did better than what DC was bringing. I mean, anybody could have did the bare minimum, the one playoff appearance, the zero playoff wins. Anybody could have given that. So DC always, when he broke his finger, that man came back. That, you know what I mean. I think it was Carolina, came back, played that game. When he hurt his back, he doesn't see. People always give him the tough guy, tough guy thing. But what did all that tough guy stuff get us? All that, cars, Iron Man. Okay, so he played all those games. He wasn't out because of injury. So what did that do for us? We definitely didn't get any more wins because of it. So that's what I'm saying. I would have rather him get hurt. We fought, like, after he broke his leg, we should have started looking for a replacement then. You know what I mean? It's just the responsible thing to do as a owner, as a franchise. Because, okay, he broke his leg. There's not a guarantee. DC's not the fastest guy already. He's not the most, mobile, but that's going to set him back, which it did. He had his struggles. He definitely had his struggles of being happy feet, scary at times. Like, it was always, and then we gave him excuses for about a year or two. And then he started to, I don't know, he was really, we started to slowly get to, 500. And, he had the playoff year. But I mean, really, like we just talked about, it wasn't like he was tearing it up, like he was lighting it up. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those wide receivers, the yards after catch, made a lot of that extra stuff happen. You know, and he gets a lot of credit. Definitely gets a lot of credit. Let me see. In that one game where DC walked out with a groin injury, Mariota came out swinging and looked even better in just a few snaps. I was ready to move on. Thank you. That was a good point too, Dark. I remember that against the Chargers. That was crazy. Like, he almost won that game too. And so tell me if I'm wrong. If Mariota had pulled out that game, I guarantee Mariota would have been starter. You know what I mean? From that point. Because, I mean, that's what Gruden wanted, was somebody to push Carr. Because Gruden's not dumb, man. He knew, yes, he had basically what he had in Tampa. You know what I mean? It's not like he doesn't have Tom Brady. He has Trent Dilfer. You know what I mean? Like, it's that's what he had. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have a elite. He had someone that he just tried to get to listen, because like Derek kind of looked at, I ain't gonna say like a dad, but kind of like a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, he kind of looked at Gruden like a dad. He didn't want to disappoint him, and so he was more, I guess, open to Gruden's philosophies and stuff like that more than he was to McDaniels. And McDaniels has more of the offensive, I guess, background. You know what I mean? Like, and has a little bit more aggression than we can honestly say that John Gruden had. And it's like, I really do believe that Mariota was someone that Gruden had a vision for. And because I remember that first run of the season that Mariota had, I think he fell on his shoulder and hurt his I think he hurt his shoulder or whatever, so he was kind of out for a couple games. So that's kind of, I think that slowed that Mariota, dream. And they was like, we're just gonna run with DC, man. You know, honestly, that's just in my opinion. But yeah, because that game was tight. I remember that pass to Darren Waller. I was pretty sick. I was on the money. Like I was in his tips. Like that was nice, So it gave everybody a flash, and everybody, I think, agreed that it was time for a change. But it was like we just didn't have anyone to change to. You know what I mean? And Mariota was like kind of a breath of fresh air because we always wanted someone that could be mobile too. And Mariota was getting in there. Like there was some plays where, and that's how we were doing what Kaepernick and Alex Smith were doing in San Francisco, where they would bring in Kaepernick to do the run plays and stuff like that. Like how they always say, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to find a way. So that was kind of like, I think if Mariota had stayed healthy, he would have definitely been a starter, and he would have been cheaper. You know what I mean? So they definitely were looking at that part of it too, because I think they were building up to getting rid of DC. It just wasn't McDaniels. McDaniels just was the one with the balls to do it. You know what I mean? So I believe that that's what the Mariota move was, because like I said, they were comfortable with DC, but they seen the decline. They seen that he was not what they thought that he was. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, like, because I mean, I'm a fan of the Raiders. I hope DC would have got it. I went as far as thinking that this man was a man of God, and that his faith alone, that the favor would push the good, and what I'm saying, we would be successful. He would win a Super Bowl, and you know, things are deceiving. So it's I tried to root for DC, and like I said, I honestly, I still cheer for my team, but I realized he was not the one after that Jacksonville game, the last game in Oakland Stadium. You know what I mean? That was very disappointing just for the fans. A lot of fans just were very disappointed because it's like there was so much left out there. There was no energy. This is the last game, man. Like, yeah, and so you got to think, for Raider Nation, who shows love like us, man? Who does it like us? Who loves their team like us? You know what I'm saying? And it was just so frustrating that we had to watch somebody else celebrate on our field, and the way we lost too was terrible. You know what I mean? Just late in the game, and it just, I don't know. It was just very disappointing. And then, like, I just feel like there should have been more pride in that game. Let's see. He just wanted to angle to deceive people. That's why I don't respect him as a person, yet alone as a player. Yeah, like, because like when you look back at it, like, it all comes to people like numbers. So zero playoff wins, 9 years. Just throw those numbers out there. Yeah, it's a team game. Yeah, so what? But it's someone, like I said, someone's gotta be sick of the losing. Like Max can't throw the ball. Max can't run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't have Max come on offense and throw to Devontae. You know what I'm saying? He has the heart of a champion, but he kills quarterbacks. You know what I mean? That's his job. And we need someone that is going to get in there and win. It doesn't matter about, oh, I got 300, 400 yards passing. If you lose, it doesn't matter. Like, numbers don't mean nothing if you lose. You know what I mean? Like, you have to know what you're good at. You got to know your tendencies. You got to know their tendencies. You got to know yourself more than anything. Know what you're good at. Know yourself. Know your worth. Like, and it's like I mean, DC even admitted, but he's still, back and forth. He knows, when he goes to sleep at night and it's just him, you know what I mean? Like, when he's somewhere in the dark and he can't lie to himself and he's thinking about it. I mean, there's plenty to look at. Like, I'm pretty sure he's looked at all his replays and stuff like that, all his interceptions and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, damn, shouldn't have threw that one. Ooh, damn, because there were so many chances. Like I've rewatched this stuff over and over and over, and I've seen just people wide open, jumping up and down, waving their arms in the air, and it's like, come on, you have to have awareness. Like I said, I'm no pro, but I have the same amount of wins as DC in the playoffs, so I'm a professional. Now, but you know what I'm saying? It's you gotta have killer instinct, man. Like, it's a team game, yes. But when we see teams like the Bengals rising, you know what I mean? When we see the Browns do better than us, then that's when, man, we know all is lost. But, there's teams that have been bad for years and they're starting to not be bad anymore. But then we have to get out of that grouping too, because there's teams like, just say, the Lions, Browns, Bengals. But the Bengals are better now, you know what I'm saying? But like the teams that were just bad for years, and it's like the 49ers, terrible teams. Different teams I could just think of just that were terrible. And it's like consistently for 20 something years we've been one of those terrible teams, so that all these teams are kind of figuring stuff out, and they're starting to get, what I'm saying, like they're starting to get better and start adding pieces that are crucial to making their team better. And it's like we're the only thing not drafting well. We're not, we're overpaying people that we shouldn't even be paying. Let me turn this off real quick. Bam. All right. Yeah. So, we're always paying people that, underperform when they get to us. So, like, so I'm not saying 100% everything was DC. But I will say I'll give it a third. I'll give it a third. I'll give it a third. I want to say 50%, but I'll give it a fair third. I'll be fair. I'm a Libra guy, so I believe in the scales. I believe in fairness. I believe in justice. I believe in balance. Like I don't really get too high on something unless it's a Raider win. I don't care what kind of win it is. I get excited. Preseason, scrimmage. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like a win, I get super, super excited for wins. But it's I'm pretty balanced though. Like even a ugly win, you can learn something. But I mean, really, we don't learn from wins. Like it's rare that we take the opportunity to learn from wins because it pays off in the end when you win. Like it's when you lose, there's always I wish I could have, or there was an opportunity. Damn, you can always look back and be like, oh my goodness, if I had did this, or oh, that was my chance, And it's like with a win, it doesn't matter because you got the win. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that our struggles last year were a learning experience for us. I hope we can so we beat the teams that we were not all of them that we were supposed to beat, but the Broncos, we were supposed to beat them. We're better than them. Chargers, I think this is a crucial point where both teams are at a crucial point where we're fighting for that second position against KC. You know what I mean? KC, until proven otherwise, is the better team. But we have to, we just have to get better and beat the teams. See, that's where it starts. That's half the battle. Because, it seems like a small thing, but for Raiders, we have always struggled. Like we may beat a team we're not supposed to beat, but then we go lose to a team that, we were supposed to scrape. So one thing I want us to do is take care. That's gonna be focus one. We'll just leave it at that. Focus one. Beat the teams that we're supposed to beat. The Texans, all these teams that like had, bad records and stuff like that. Like we weren't supposed to lose to the Colts and all these teams and stuff like that. I definitely didn't want to lose to the Colts because when we traded what's his face and Ngakwe, he was talking about he was going to hold a grudge and all that kind of stuff and all that. So I really wanted that win anyway. And it was our first year head coach. We lost to a dude that, it's typical Raider stuff. But that's what I'm saying. That's the things that has to change. And like, it's insanity, man, if we're expecting, 9 years or a 10th year of the same thing and expecting to, actually have success. Because I mean, it's not making the playoffs every 10th year and, that we're happy with that. No, we want every year, like we want to compete like how the Niners did a couple years ago when they, at these NFC championships, every consistently, like Green Bay, consistently there, Kansas City, the Bills, consistently there. I want to bang with these teams, man, like consistently every year. I want us to be up there in those groups. You know what I mean? I agree. It's not all his fault, but he does share a fair amount because he is the captain on the field and can change the outcome of any game. And like why I blame him, because a lot of people, the defense. Yeah, the defense let us down at points too, but they also got us the ball plenty of times to get the job done. And why I blame DC is because I've seen the defense stop them, and I seen DC not get it done. Like DC had Renfro in the even after giving up that late touchdown, he had Renfro wide open and floated the ball just like it was. I don't know, it was crazy. He had to hung the ball in the air. It got picked off. You know what I mean? Like it was just crucial moments, and it's like you can't blame the defense for that. Like if you're throwing picks, like we got a pick and then he throws a pick, I want to say 1 or 2 plays later, you give the ball right back. And then you expect the defense after just coming back on the, coming off the field to come back on the field and stop them again. Like how, and that's ball control. That's all I want us to do, guys, is get better ball control. All these, like we talked about earlier, the second half where we just melt down and it's like we can't get anything going. And of course, these teams are going to start to get momentum. They're doing a good job of what you call it, game of what you call it, pretty much responding to what we're trying to do. They game plan and then they figure out in the first half what we're trying to do, and second half is usually how they try to stop what we were good at. They're going to limit that, okay, and make us do something else. So like for us, I feel like we showed them the same thing. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like, but it was getting out of the, it was like getting out of getting out of the start of the third quarters, like getting the drive going, getting, at least a field goal, at least getting points, adding points, because that's why we melted down. Like a lot of our games, we melted down. We had a lead, and then we let the team come back. Why? Because we couldn't sustain drives. We couldn't put points up to make them have to work more. It was just like we had 24, they had 7, now they have 14, now they got 21, 24. You know what I'm saying? It's like we could never keep scoring. So I hope, and so it sucks, it really sucks because, we're looking forward. We're looking forward to what we got now, right? And we kind of, it's questionable, like we're expecting, everyone's like, oh, don't worry, because, we got Jimmy and, but we don't know. He didn't even know that he was going to, need the surgery and all that kind of stuff. So, it's going to be right there in the back of our mind, man. It's going to be, what I'm saying? Like it's a thought. Like I can't 100% put my faith in something that like he's not even on the field right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's I hope the best, but I'm open minded, man. Like I'm gonna, like I see us, like I said, when he's healthy, his numbers say he's a winner. So that's all we have to go on, and that's all we can really say, man. Let's see. Take it game by game. Restore the faith with consistency. Even if we lose, play with the same intensity and consistency. Yes. It can never, because it feels like a lot of those second halves, it's just like we ran out of steam and either we used all our look, see, that's why I say he was a scripted quarterback. He was good on those scripted drives. And it was like, but when he had to actually just go from, the play calling, you know what I mean? Just situational play calling. he struggles. And it's like I always say, his rhythm. It was just something off about just his rhythm, like the snap count, like a lot of those, because like you work with these guys for a couple years now, so it's not like, like a Luminar's been there for a while, and it seems like when he would change the play, it'd be like 5 or 6 seconds and stuff like that, and it'd be that rush, 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 and then it would just be something off, and then he would either it would be the snap count or something like that. And it was just like, what is going on? Like, and that's a lot of the drive killing. Like sometimes you just got to run the play. You know what I mean? Like it's sometimes you got the line and then say it's ticking down 8, 7, 6. Now you see something. Now you want to change it. Like it's like you don't give your line a chance to, because now they have to adjust their mindset to in 5 seconds. They have to adjust their mindset to another play. You know what I mean? When it's like leading down from the play clock down. You know what I mean? And like it's like you have to know your team. You have to know, just run the play. Sometimes I would just be like, just run the play. Stop doing all these. He thought it was cute. DC thought it was cute when he would do all these fake audibles and all that kind of stuff. Tell people on TV that I'm just yelling at blah blah blah. It's like he was too talkative, man. Like too, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the one thing. Like he's see, here I go. He was talking, like all friendly with everybody. That stuff, man. Like there's no all that friend stuff, man. That's for the off season. You know what I'm saying? That's not for. And that's for after we kick your butt. Then we can hug and all that kind of stuff. After we beat you, then hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? Better luck next time. So yeah, it's yeah. Yes. Yeah, consistency. That's all. That's the one thing, if we could say the one thing we want in this organization, consistency. Like the only thing that's been consistent that it hasn't worked for us is gone to New Orleans now. So, and I think I can't fault the Raiders for wanting to have someone be there, be the face, because he was better than Jamarcus. We got to all agree that he's better than Jamarcus Russell. Same amount of playoff wins, you know, but I feel he is, yeah, not the guy. But I have 100% faith in our QB room, like worst case, because I feel like we have the weapons. Like that's the one thing is we never had this many pretty decent receivers in our room since like the Crab and Amari. But then even after that, like it falls off. But I feel like options, options. Like I like that we have a certified returner now. That way we don't have to, because we've been looking for a returner, for quite some time. So we have a returner. We have two. We have Dorsett and we have Tucker. And then that way, because I know with Renfro, they don't want him receiving. I think that's why they really didn't want him receiving punts, is because he was getting whacked and he was fumbling the ball a lot, probably in practice. So, you know what I mean? I think that's why they were kind of like, we probably need to find something else. Because, yeah, he's a good guy. He's shifty. But sometimes if they get their hands on him, they can hurt him or they can make him lose the ball, as we know. So, so there's places where I see the vision, if you will, um, yeah. McDaniels. So for Jimmy, he was successful with Kittle. He was successful with Debo. So I feel Mayer is like the Kittle to, like pretty much will be his Kittle type tight end. And then Trey Tucker will be kind of like that Swiss Army knife type, like that Debo kind of type. Not the size, but that similar basic, basically what he does. So, and I think a lot of that will open up one-on-one opportunities for Devontae and Jacoby Myers, because they're going to have to keep their eyes on these players doing these jet motions and respect these sweeps and reverses. Now that we have actual legit players to actually take a yard now. You know what I mean? Because before it was like we didn't have the speed, so no one respected. They see somebody running, be like, they ain't giving it to him. He ain't going nowhere. So it's like now we got actually pieces that can get loose. So I definitely can't wait to see the offense going. And as last year, I don't know if it's going to be different this year, but DC didn't play any preseason time last year, so we got to see our young guys, which is I'm excited too, because we that's kind of what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Stidham last year at the end, but I also wanted to see Chase Garbers, because you never know what you got until you kind of put them in that fire. And then remember, Patrick Mahomes, his first game I believe was against us, and they put him in, and the rest is history. So, but I would have liked to seen him against either the Niners. We would have got smacked by the Niners if we had to put Chase in. But if I wanted to see, just because you never know what you got until you put him in and see what he's gonna do. Because he could do well. What if that man did well, and the rest would be history after that. But we always have to see. So that's why I kind of wanted to see our young guys at the end of the season last year. I believe we spent too much time with DC. I think if we had gave Stidham maybe a chance, maybe 3 or 4 games earlier, we probably would have made the playoffs. Different playing style, different, I he was super cocky that Niner game. I would just wish he had came with that win. I wish he had got that win. But I feel he gave us a better opportunity than DC would have. I feel like Bosa would have gave him the blues, because Stidham almost got sacked by Bosa too, but he escaped it. And I just know for a fact that DC would have curled up. I'm 99.9% he would have curled. But, I just felt like he gave us a better opportunity that game. I'm so glad that they made that change there. I feel like they should have made it a couple games before, because leading into that game, that was a tough game to just throw somebody into. Niners have a good defense. They have a good, solid line. They always draft good linemen. They always draft pretty decent defensive linemen. You know what I mean? So we borrowed a couple of their guys too this year. But I would love to just get this season started, man. I like that we get to work with the Niners too, and we get to kind of maybe see a couple of their guys, because there's going to be a lot of cuts and all that kind of stuff. So, the team that we have right now, there's still opportunities to add more players, because we're going to cut a bunch of these people, like all these extra running backs, all these receivers, all these people that pretty much will not start anywhere. So there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna cut players that we could possibly use, like in the linebackers, DBs. That's why I don't think we're making any moves right now, because there's so many. And the way we're doing things is cheap, and trying to do it not cashing out for all these players, like in free agency. We're gonna try to get all these players that get cut late, where it's harder for them to get on. Because right now it's easy for teams to get on because it's off season. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing going on, and they're already packed in the rosters right now too. So you know what I mean. So basically, once they start cutting down and they start seeing where they can trim money here, trim money there, they're gonna start. You know what I'm saying? Adjusting their team, and then plus we got injuries and all that haven't happened yet, like the hamstrings, the quads, the calf strains, all this kind of stuff. Like, so what we see on paper now is gonna hopefully it doesn't all change, but for the most part, it's gonna change here and there. We're just hoping we don't lose our big pieces, and that we find. But whatever's gonna happen is gonna work itself out regardless. No matter what we do, what we say, the team's gonna work itself out. You know what I'm saying? So. I have faith in this regime. I have faith in my squad always, till death do us part. I want to shout you guys out too, man. I appreciate you guys, man, for showing up, for coming out, talking some ball. That's gonna be our Saturdays, man. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy. Let me see those play action. Those play actions causes a lot of confusion. KC utilizes them a lot when they had Hill. Yes. Yeah, Hill used to kill us. Like, there were certain players, man, as Raiders I remember used to definitely get us. I remember Priest Holmes, Tyreek Hill, of course. What's his face? Gonzalez used to tear us up. But LT for the Chargers used to get us. It seemed like he did everything, like passed on us, run on us, caught passes on us, threw a pass. You know what I mean? That was very frustrating, man. Frustrating times. But yeah, like Hill, the thing about so back when Mahomes first started, it was with Tyreek and that whole the speed. Oh, I forgot what they were. The Legion of Zoom. So they were I think they called themselves the Legion of Zoom or something like that. But it was like Watkins, D Rob, Hill. Let me see Watkins. Yeah. Somebody else I think I'm forgetting, but yeah, they got that they had speed, speed, speed. And it's so Mahomes, young Mahomes was slinging it. And it's easy to sling it when you got Tyreek Hill just killing people out there. You know what I'm saying? Like that man had wiggle like no other. Like he's getting older now, so he's a little bit more. You see him kind of on the decline now, but he was a monster. Let's say like 4 or 5. I'd say about 4 or 5 years ago, he was a monster. But I'm so glad he's out of our division, but he's still in our conference. So but it's so when he left, we expected KC to take a dive. So they're not going to be what they were, but what they did, and I noticed that they developed was just the dink and dunk because everything was all no looks, all or nothing. You know what I mean? And I noticed they learned that they could because they were getting beat by Tennessee. There was some teams that were kind of starting to figure them out. And when they would so they figured out the dink and dunk. Like how to okay, we could just drive, slow drive, you know what I mean? Dink and dunk, just getting little 5 yards here, 6 here, 5 here, 6 years. So they became a complete team because if you started to kind of focus in on them with the dink and dunk, Tyreek's over the top, or they're killing you with Kelsey on the outs. So it's it's crucial that they added what's his face from Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we didn't expect them to definitely win the Super Bowl. So uh, I don't even want to say shout to them, but much respect for like what they're able to do, like still without Tyreek. So and they drafted. Oh my goodness, they got better too this draft. They really did, and I would like to. I don't know. We have to beat them. We have to find a way to beat them, and it's like they. It seems like us knowing that they like to use Kelsey, they like to, that we would be able to stop them. But that 4 touchdown game with Kelsey cannot happen again. I mean, that's just no excuse for that. And Kelsey knows every time. He always says that every time he comes, he knows he's gonna get 200, 2 TDs. You know what I mean? And that's a damn shame. And like that makes me mad that he just expects to score when he comes to Oakland. You know what I mean? So or to Oakland to to Vegas or play the Raiders. So I am, I'm hoping that we can stop that because at some point, somebody's got to get pissed off. Like I said for DC, someone's got to get pissed off and get in somebody's face, man. But like, come on, man. Like I didn't come here for this. I didn't come here to lose. So like whatever we got to do, communicate, whatever it is, whatever it takes. This has to stop. So and it's until somebody gets pissed off, because I feel like last year when Max had that head up with Mahomes. I feel like that was that breaking point where it was like, man, enough is enough. You know what I mean? And he was letting him know that, man, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So he's Max knows how big this rivalry is for us. He knows what it means to the fans. He knows what it means to, just basically us being successful because it's always us like KC usually starts off better than us, and it's always us trying to chase, but they don't. It seems like they don't lose, so we have to keep winning. You know what I mean? Like we can't expect them. We can't wait for them to lose. We just have to keep winning, and it's like we have to base our team to beat them because everyone else is trying to beat them. So basically, if you can beat them, you can beat anybody. You know what I mean? Super Bowl champion. So you know what I mean? Like beat the best, because if we can beat the best in our division, That's the road to the playoffs. That's the road to the divisionals. That's the road to the to the Super Bowl. So we got the opportunity. I, I hate him too. Hate that dude. I hate that his first game was against us and they beat. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot, man. And it's like, his I just the ring around the rosy, all that disrespectful stuff, man. Like that's somebody's got to get pissed off. Like, somebody's got to get mad because it's like it has to be like, bruh. Like even if I'm gonna run up on him, when we doing stretches, I'm running up on him like, hey, bro, I swear that ring of rosy stuff. Try me if you want to. I'm getting kicked out of that game because I'm a whack him. I'm gonna whack him and get kicked out for the grade of the team. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you gonna know every time you try to do some ring of rosy, you getting popped. So it could be after the play. I'm sorry, but we're gonna send a message. It's just like when To tried to run to the star. And what's the name? Whacked him. That's what it is, man. Like you're not gonna disrespect us, man. Like you respect us as men. You know what I'm saying? Like respect me as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, you don't bring all that ring around the rosy. It's dead. But hope you guys have fun, man. This was actually very fun. I had a good time with you guys. Yeah, it was good, man, to get that off. It felt good. Yeah, it was cool, man. Like I really wanted to just kind of break down our first opponent, kind of get us excited for what we got to go against, and give us some real, because I mean they are going to get better. Broncos are definitely going to get better, but we have to beat them. Like we're looking past them. We're looking past the Chargers. We're really looking at. Appreciate you guys, man. We're really looking at KC because KC is the bar. So I'm tired of them talking smack. I'm tired of them winning. I'm tired of these. I think they have the same amount of Super Bowls as us now. You know, so yeah, it's about time for us to take off. It's about time. It's time. So we'll see how it goes. Appreciate you guys, man. I didn't want to stay, keep you guys too hostage, but I know Saturdays are pretty slow and ain't really nothing going on. So just wanted to chop it with you guys, man. But thank you guys, man. Dark, Ray, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you guys, man, for chopping it up today, man. Let me see. I am too. Like it seems like it went kind of. I mean, it feels like it drags. You know what I'm saying? But it feels like it picked up this last like couple months. Like it kind of went a little quick. So I'm very very much looking forward. And it's like I like that we have an opportunity to start off. I think like 3-1. So if we could start off 3-1, that would be good. Like the Bills is going to be a tough game. Against the Chiefs and start. Yes, I hope. Like even if we, because you remember how it felt, man, when we beat them in KC. Like, oh my goodness, oh you can tell me nothing. You know what I mean? Because at the time, my boss was a Chief fan, so oh my goodness, hated that dude. So I love to talk smack, and it's like, who better to talk smack to than your boss, right? You know what I'm saying? So you know. But yeah, we have to. We have to sweep the Broncos. We have to sweep the Chargers. We have to at least 1-1 with the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Just straight up, like at the very least, because late in the game, if it comes to, say a tiebreaker or something like that, if they're 2-0 on us, that's not going to help us. You know what I'm saying? So any little advantage that we can get, that's why we have to win the games that we're supposed to win. And just the good thing about the Bills game, the advantage that we have is our coach was in that division and knows the Bills, knows pretty much what they try to do. He's played them twice a year, for the last few, as they've had Josh Allen. So he knows Josh Allen. He knows what he's good at. He knows what he's not. So that's an advantage. That's a positive thing. That means that he's familiar and that gives us a chance. I mean, just knowing, and I don't know about you guys, but the Patriots, we'll just put it out there. The Patriots were known for, I'm not going to use the CHEAT, whatever word. I'm going to say the Patriots were very good at gaining advantages. So, and, as much as we probably don't want to admit it, our coach is part of that crafty little unit. So just know that we have advantages. Um, I don't know how the Tom Brady ownership, whatever is going to happen, but another crafty individual. So it's we're starting to we're starting to understand how the league is going. Like the league doesn't like us. The league is dirt. I'm not say the league is something else, right? So we kind of have to get to that level where we're like, okay, they are against us. All right, well, we got to put up 40. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to put up points. It's hard for you to beat us when we're outscoring everybody. So that's the goal, man. I believe that is truly the goal. We're gonna scout. D Menace, what's going on? Salute, my brother. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. Appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, so I think we've gone so heavy on offense that I think that's just the goal, man. We just outscore everybody because that's the league, man. Like that's the league. It's a passing league. Nobody comes to see the run, the slow run game. Everyone wants to see these passing touchdowns. Of course, we love our walk off running touchdowns, but we just have to be real with the situation. Like, it's kind of hard to tell because I always say the running game is crucial because of either way. If you have Jimmy's coming off injury. So basically, we're not going to want him to be throwing the ball all over the field 50, 40, 30 times a game. We want him to be able to not have so much pressure on him so that he can stay healthy and be productive. So either way, having a good running game is going to help Jimmy. So say Jimmy's not ready. Aiden O'Connell, Chase Garbers, whoever it is, Brian Hoyer, whoever it is going to need the running game because we're not going to expect any of them to throw 30, 40 times. You know what I mean? Like we're just realistically, we're not. And if we do that, we're probably in trouble. You know what I mean? Because we do need a running game, no matter what. Like what team? The Bills. The Bills is a team like that. The Bills have everything, but they lacked a running game. You know what I mean? Josh Allen was the running back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain teams that are missing running backs. So that's the thing I don't get when, people are like, oh, just, we can get rid of them, whatever. But then again, we'll still be looking for a running back. Why look for one when we have one? That's why I figure I think it's just a waste of time unless this number that he wants is just insane. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like you have a good back, pay the dude. If he doesn't work out, don't pay him again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we paid people before. You know what I'm saying? Like, we paid Devontae. So that's kind of what Josh looks at too. Devontae just got in here and we paid him. You know what I mean? And we didn't get a Super Bowl with Devontae, or we didn't get a playoff, appearance with Devontae. But Josh is looking at it like, well, we made the playoffs, and I was a big part of that. Us making the playoffs. So I get it. But you got to meet in the middle, man. I feel he will. Like something in my heart tells me, man, like that he's gonna just sign it, just say F it. You know what I mean? And just, it is what it is. Because he's gonna get paid somewhere. He's either gonna get paid somewhere else. Because I feel like, say if he does have a good year again this year, they're not gonna pay him. Just realistically, if they didn't pay him last year, and how reports are saying that they don't believe that he's gonna have a 2,000 plus yard season this year. Okay, so what if he does? Are they going to believe he's going to have another 2,000? No. So they're not going to pay him. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, just to be real, they're not going to pay him. Even if he does well next year, they're not going to pay him. Because if they would pay him now and then just bank on this year, next year. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be over with. If he doesn't, they got plenty of backs to, replace him. So, but like I said, I don't know what the number he's asking for. But I just feel like, man, why go look for another back when we have one. We have all these backs, just find our best three and run it. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a good fullback, and that's the only thing that like would slow us down is not having a pretty good running game. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that will be predictable as we, kind of usually are. And that's why I like the changeover. I like the changeover because we're not predictable. Now they have to learn another quarterback's tendencies, another, you know what I mean? And it's a different scheme, different, different fit. So, and I'm kind of glad DC made the system look like crap because now teams aren't going to know what it was really supposed to look like. That was kind of a plus, because I was like, damn, it's like he made so running game was successful, DA was successful. A car had his struggles with turnovers. So, and it's like how because I always figure if the running game is good, wouldn't that open up the passing game for for other people and stuff like that? It did for DA, but it didn't for the other receivers. And so if all the picks, like I said, not all of them were his fault. There was some tip, but ball placement and all that kind of stuff matters. It does, because you that's what practice is for. That's why like people always talked about, DC being a great practice player. Oh, he's going through all his progressions in practice. You know, uh, whatever that means. You know what I'm saying? Like he's great in practice. He's great on scripted plays. He's great when it doesn't matter. He's great in the first half. Secondly, and so for all those comeback wins, right? He led, he has the most comeback wins. None of those wins, except for I was gonna say the Charger game was probably the only one that really mattered, where we made the playoffs that year. But I mean, because it's like none of I don't know. He had for all those comeback wins and to have zero playoff, that means none of those wins were, yeah, we're talking about practice, man. Not the game. You know what I'm saying? Not the game that, you know, we show up every Sunday for. We talking about practice, No helmet, you know what I mean? Well, helmets, you know what I'm saying, but no touching. You know what I'm saying? Like no. And that's where I think the Saints fans are gonna be super mad. I want to say by week 4, Hayner's in the game. I'm gonna say that's my bold prediction. By week 4, Hayner will be starting. You know, but and it's nothing disrespectful to DC. I don't think so. I mean, in my opinion, I'm just saying that I believe that he will. They're going to see the same thing we saw. Basically, I'm saying that he's not going to do anything no better or no worse than he's done for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, saying he's going to suck, but I'm just going to say that he is not going to really tear it up. You know what I mean? Like, he may be good that first game because it's scripted. They've been working on those same plays for months. So it's of course, he's going to do great for that first, but he's no Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? Like he's no, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not. We'll see. We'll see. Best of luck to him, but we'll see. Let's see. Bam. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I can't wait till these camps get started. People get, we start to hear the real buzz and who's really stepping up when they start to put the pads on and see who can hang, who can't hang. Hopefully Mayer, because we're expecting Mayer to be this, baby Gronk and all this kind of stuff, but got to play the game. Got to play the game. You definitely got to play the game. We're not going to know who anybody is until this thing gets started. Preseason is really going to kind of show us, what we're like. The first whatchamacallit, the first preseason game is gonna give us our lineups and kind of show us what they're leaning towards, like who they have faith in. Because right now they know, and I think right now they're looking because they know basically who their starters, who they want their starters to be. Because you can't get this late into it and not have an idea of who you want in place. So they have, they're basically who they have their starters, maybe one alternate here or there. But basically I think they're just looking for their depth. You know what I mean? Like our safety position for sure, we got to figure who's going to be our top three, top four safeties. You know what I mean? That we're gonna keep this year. Like the line situation, like I think we're in good hands in the line. I feel like we got alternates that are some key pieces that can be around for a while. Time will tell, but from how it looks, we're building a big line. And like I said, with everybody healthy, if our quarterback can come in, healthy, he's got a decent line to keep him off his back. So when the JJ thing shakes out, whatever happens, happens. I mean, I think it was. I don't want to say it was Raider Ben last night. Shout to Raider Ben. Shout to Death Star Report. Um, but I was watching and it was saying about. Oh goodness, goodness, goodness. Oh yeah, if we would want to trade Josh Jacobs, I mean, I'm looking at for the value that we would get for trading him. I would for sure do it because I mean, draft capital is like so for what we're doing of how we're trying to build our franchise. Ziegler's doing it the cheap way, but doing it the smart cheap way. So I figure, like I said, I see this team. I mean, it's semi tanking in my eye because it's like you get a quarterback that's coming off injury. You draft a quarterback in the fourth, that could get through this year. So we could possibly not have that much success in that situation because we're going with a young guy. He's got to figure the league out. It's different than college. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not guaranteed. Like we have high hopes for him, being a young guy, hoping that he is that guy. But chances are he may not be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying the bigger chance is he may not be. But so it's kind of like we're set up to not do. If everything works out, we're set up to do well. But you can kind of see, I can kind of see the narrative people kind of say where it looks like they're kind of lightweight tanking to try to get a better quarterback. And I always keep an open mind to that because I feel like they're not going to tell us, hey guys, we're going to tank. We're going to not win as much as we can. We're going to make it look good, but we're going to not, we're trying to get to something. Just trust us. We're trying to get to something. They're not going to tell us that, but we're smart. We know winning football. That's sad to say that, even as Raiders, we know winning football and we know what it's supposed to look like because we've seen so much of what it's not supposed to look like that we know what winning football is supposed to do. That's why we get so frustrated at our players too. Um, but yeah, it's we're set up to kind of, but I feel like they have a plan where they want this is what it is. They want the franchise to do well. I really do because I feel for both their legacies, for Josh McDaniels, for Ziegler, both their legacies are on this team doing well. Because if they're gonna, so Josh McDaniels for one, he is looked at as a loser. You know what I mean? Sometimes some of our franchise of by people of the past of his failures in Denver, him bailing out on Indy, all that kind of stuff or whatever. But he needs this. You know what I mean? Like he really does. Like, and he wants this because I mean he waited for an opportunity. He waited for the right opportunity, and he found one. He found one with us. And I feel like he could have went a lot of places. Like Josh is, as much as people say they don't like him, whatever, Josh is very respected in what he does on the offensive side of the ball. It's he's able to generate offense. Like you could see he's got rings to, rings to prove it. I know he wasn't the head coach, but he was part of that team and he has the rings to show that he is able to get it done. So, is what it is. Numbers, rings don't lie. So, or maybe they do. But I feel like, he's got the rings. Because I mean, you're not gonna listen to no one that's never won nothing, right? You're not gonna, if someone's telling you how to do something that they've never won anything, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna listen because you're like, what are you telling me? What have you done? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like that, man. So um, he needs this. He really does. Like he wants to be successful here. And so I'm behind him. I want him to be successful here too, because then that means we are successful, and that means that we have a steady offense. We have someone capable to call plays that can make us a threat, make us always competitive with KC and all these different teams that have these high powered offenses. I don't want it to be like, damn, this team's gonna blow us out, or damn, we're not gonna be able to put up 30, 40. I want us to be limitless. I want us to, however, and like that's how he kind of talked about in his intro is being able to mold. And so that was kind of like a red flag at first, like when he was like, we have to be able to mold to every team that we, every game is going to be different, every situation is going to be, football, man, it's football. 10 yards gets you a first down, you know what I'm saying? Like you know it's football. It's you've been playing for years. Like it's not that difficult. It's really not. I mean, when you break it down, it's a football game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's strategy, it's chess, it's there's a lot of thinking to it, but it's football. You get paid to play football. So, you know, all the excuses and all that kind of stuff, man, pay me millions to play. I'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? That's just mentality. And that's why it's just like that's why a lot of the fans have no excuse. They have no sympathy, and we don't want to hear the excuses, man. Like you guys get paid plenty of money to make it happen. Other teams are making it happen. Why aren't we making it happen? You know what I'm saying? But we talking about practice. That's what we talking about practice. Yeah, so like I said, man, the closer we get, only time will tell. But I'm excited just to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been like our last memory is just us, losing to KC, you know, and just terrible season. Just frustrating because how close we were in all these games and just we didn't get it done. And I feel like like that breath of fresh air, just having a new started quarterback, just kind of a new era. Looks like a real, new era because Waller's gone, JJ's on the verge, but I'll take my chances. Appreciate you guys, man. Think I'm gonna get off here, man. Just wanted to check in with you guys today, and just kind of, it was good. Like I appreciate you all, man. Like letting me get this DC stuff off my chest. And like I said, nothing, it wasn't 100% his fault, man. But as a quarterback, if I'm the quarterback, man, I expect all the blame on me too. But I don't know how long I'm going to be able to just make excuses and we were this close and blah blah and if we had three more plays we would have the opportunity. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna be pissed off at myself. If I don't, whatever it takes, I'm gonna figure it out because it's like Mahomes has that because it's like he was injured in the Super Bowl last year, and you would think that all they would do is just make him uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like all he did was expect that and get the ball off. You know what I'm saying? And he still ran for, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. Killer instinct. The man was injured. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we make excuses for, DC and all that kind of stuff. But Mahomes was injured last year in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And he still made it happen. So it's not about, you know what I mean? It's in here. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I always say it's either in you or it ain't you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't force it, man. It's either in you or it ain't you. So, you know, man, thank you guys, man. I appreciate it, man. And until, next Saturday, I'm working on a video. I had a video before, but I didn't like it. It just wasn't, kind of up to my, what I wanted. But I'm working on another video intro, so next time, hopefully it should be ready. But I appreciate you guys, man. Love y'all. Um, yeah, be excited about the season, man. There's more to look forward to than it is to be, down about. Because I mean, we're gonna see the thing about all these unknown things that we're dealing with. Like, basically, we're gonna figure things out. You know what I'm saying? You got the quarterback situation. I bet promise by the end of the season we're gonna figure this thing out. And it's for the best because right now I think we're in that middle where we don't know what to expect. We don't kind of know how to feel. It's almost numb because we kind of don't know because it's kind of uncomfortable for us. It's a new feeling. But just by it being so kind of it's numbing, almost like it's kind of numb where it's almost like something good is about to happen. That's kind of how I'm taking it, like, because it feels different. Like, as a Raider fan, like all our seasons pretty much like they end bad, we're pissed off, we blame all this kind of stuff, but as the season comes closer, we're like, all right, I'm over it. Let's look to next season. Let's go. And this season is kind of like it's a little different. It just feels different. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but it feels different. It feels like I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like all those times, all those years where I thought I knew what was going to happen, it didn't happen. But this year, I feel like it's almost like maybe this is something that none of us have experienced. We might be raw as hell. This, you know what I'm saying? You never know. So, but I just feel something, man. I can't, like I said, I can't put my finger on it, but I just feel it. It's almost positive. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't know what to expect, but it feels like we could all be in for a surprise. So, I'm about that. Let's get these wins, beat the Chiefs, beat the Broncos, beat the Chargers. Um, yeah, I'm excited. We definitely got to take care of business. Got to take care of business at our rivals. You know what I mean? Starts there first because that's how we get to the playoffs. We have to dominate. Um, thank you guys, man. I appreciate you all. Damn, I didn't know I was on here for 2. Yeah, I was gonna just check in for a little bit, but let me see. Dark, I knew you was good people when you was a warrior. You know what I mean? When I found out you was a warrior, I already knew. Yeah. But hey, doesn't it feel kind of like it just I don't know, it's weird. It's almost like you don't when you get a gut feeling about something and then like it happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like, I got a good feeling, but and it shows itself to you later. That's kind of what it feels like. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm excited, bro. I really am. And it's like the smiles get bigger the closer we are. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be raw. So yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate you guys, man, for being here. I won't keep you no longer. Appreciate everything, man, you guys represent and everything that you guys bring to the table. Man, I do this for you guys. I do this for the nation, man, because it's like it's us, man. These wins don't feel good without the nation. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's what it is, man. Like when we win, and it's like it's us, man. If I could fucking fist bump everybody in the stadium, I would. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like after wins, man, it's crazy because it's the love of just there's nothing like that, man. It's the family, 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 family. So I love y'all. Y'all be safe today, and for the next time. Yes, sir.